Doubt, absolutely. According to him.
Or to tell you where they came from?
No one is the least bit interested in letting everybody know all the facts. They want to give you the minimum information that's necessary to complete your task. So you're not.
Hear that? They want to give you the minimum information to complete your task. They're not giving you everything. So you can't imagine working somewhere. You can't talk to the guy next to you, or working the next part. You can't. So you don't even know. You don't know what they're working on. You don't know what they're doing. So it's like, this is how you keep things secret for almost 100 years. These kind of tactics. There's all kind of different levels of the tactics to keep it from getting to the public. These are parts of it you're witnessing. If it's true. Might not be true. According to some, it's up to you. What do you think?
Getting the story of where they came from. You're not getting the story of how much progress other people are making. You just focus on the small component.
But they gave you some indication that they've been working on these for a while?
Yeah.
When do you think they acquired these?
I really couldn't say. I think they've been around for a while.
So they bring you into this room. You see this reactor working. You realize this is nothing that, as far as like the scientific community at current time, has the ability to create.
We still don't.
What is your life like from that moment on? Is that where everything changes? Because I would imagine the moment you actually make contact with something that's extraterrestrial, whether it's an object or a being, something where you can actually absolutely be certain it's not from here, your whole paradigm, the whole world you live in, is now a different place.
Well, this is the only time it became exciting. The rest of the time it was really an ominous feeling being at work, but at that time it was exciting.
You come encounter with a being or an object that you are sure is not from this planet, of this world. That is correct. How your whole paradigm, how your whole world, how whatever word you do, everything will shift. Because you're like, this thing came from elsewhere. From other creatures, from other people, from other entity, from other... First of all, what do you call them? What do you... Man, oh man. Wow.
And this was... Now I knew we were on the absolute beyond the cutting edge of science. And I was so absolutely excited to be there every single time I was. This was a fantastic opportunity, and however, in short order, it began to concern me. We really have no idea what we're talking about, and the excitement kind of turned to dread at some point, because the amount of power we're dealing with is astronomical. I mean, to affect gravity.
What have I been saying exactly? I haven't seen exactly, my brother. Please talk about it more.
Produce the effects like this equipment does takes huge amounts of power. And I've given the example before of, taking a small portable nuclear reactor and, putting it back into Victorian times, with the scientists of the time, and just dropping it in a room. They come and look at it and see that it's producing power and wonder how it works, so they start taking it apart. And as soon as they get some of the shielding off, the people are going to drop dead because of the radiation inside. Now, the people have no idea that radiation even exists back then. But anybody that comes in to check on them will also drop dead. And, there's no reason that exact scenario couldn't happen with what we're dealing with. We have no idea how the physics operate within this thing. The power levels are, like I said, astronomical. Like, it's incredibly dangerous to tinker with something like that. And, in some respects, we were guinea pigs. Just try to find out how to make this thing.
So they had a series,
wow,
as far as surmised. They had a series of different scientists try to back engineer this thing, try to figure out what this thing was, and they would bring in new people and like, let's throw Bob at it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they
I don't know how many, but I knew there was certainly one before me, and I knew he died during the analysis of the reactor itself.
And you don't know how many have worked on it, and no one gave
this
any
could have been there
indication.
for 50 years. It could have been there for 5 years.
When they're
I
giving
really
you
don't know.
instructions, what are they saying? Like when they're giving you direction, they're showing you all this stuff. Like what are they saying? What specifically? What are they asking of you?
Well, essentially what they ask is what I said. We are just to gather as much information as possible, find out how it operates, and see if we can duplicate it. So,
But they never told you where it was from. They never let you ask questions about where it's from.
Well, if the information I read in the briefings was accurate, now what I do have to say is the information that pertained directly to the reactor was accurate. What I read did jive with reality.
In terms of how?
In terms of how it was made, what we saw, how it operated, the materials, how it, turned on, and what was discovered about it. I'm sorry, the migraine is really making it hard for me.
Wow. It's interesting when he really gets into it.
For just $67,
he starts getting,
you can make as many videos as you
starts
want,
getting,
and you never need to pick up a camera or...
and he starts getting a migraine or whatnot. That's when this is very, very, very super duper fascinating. Super
minutes.
Super
So,
duper fascinating. So, it's you got to ask yourself something. Once again, if a fraction, 10%, 20% of this is true, not even the whole thing, if just a small fraction of it is true, come on, man.
I'm sorry, the migraine is really making it hard for me to think here.
Sorry, no, we talked that before the podcast. You tell everybody Bob was getting a migraine. I know you're very stressed out by this, which is one of the reasons why I appreciate you doing this.
Where was I already?
We were talking about
right,
the way you explained it.
And so there was some paperwork that indicated that this was from the Zeta Reticuli star system. Now,
hold up. Pump the brakes. Some indication, some information, please, he's got to get into it, that this was from the Zeta Reticuli star system, a whole nother star system, I don't know how many light years away. And when some of you that don't understand light years, when you say light year, man, that's enough to make your brain hurt, man. Wow. Let's keep going.
how they obtained that, I haven't the slightest idea. But it wasn't just from the Zeta Reticuli star system. It was what they called